It was Thursday when we saw our first iceberg. Suddenly, everyone was out on deck taking pictures.
In order to get out here, it had to get over the terminal moraine at the end of the glacial valley. When we go into Holcomb Bay, we'll go over a really shallow spot on the way in, and then the rest of it will be really deep where it's been carved out by it, and that's all stuff that the glacier pushed down that far. The following day, we're going to go up the fjord, and by the end of that day, you'll be bored with icebergs this size.
While I stood in the canoe making a sketch of it, several bergs came off with tremendous dashing and thunder, raising a cloud of ice dust and spray to a height of 100 feet or more. "The ice mountain is well disposed to you," said Taim. "He is firing his big guns to welcome you."
Early the next morning, we raised anchor and headed up Endicott Arm toward the massive Dawes Glacier. Jeffrey chose it because the huge cruise ships rarely go there. The bergs are relatively small. The David B is going very slowly, and Jeffrey and Christine work closely together to wend their way through increasing icebergs. At one point, Tim and Barbara Lydon, a husband and wife ranger team, joined us for an hour, giving us lots of information about the fjords. Then we slowly turned a corner and got our first glimpse of Dawes Glacier. The glacier didn't look that big, but Jeffrey told us it was still 8 miles away, and that when we got close to the 900-foot-high front, we would change our minds about the size.
About 10,000 years ago, where the David B is cruising right now on the water, there could have been 2,000 feet of ice below us, and above us there would have been maybe another 5,000 feet of ice, so a total of 7,000 feet of ice within these fjords.
Tim and Barbara left for a day of patrolling Endicott Arm. Just another ho-hum day at the office for them. The closer we got to Dawes, the higher the anticipation rose and the lower the temperature dropped. At a mile away, the chilling winds off the glacier began to pick up.
Hey, take a look over here and you can see a whole bunch of seal pups with their mothers hauled out on ice floes.
We spent an hour, about a quarter of a mile away from the face, waiting for huge chunks to calve off. During lunch, we finally saw a chunk plunge into the freezing water while we were eating Christine's delicious chili. How appropriate.
It is impressive to sit there and think about the fact that ice was around, thousands and thousands of years ago, and what was going on at the time that ice was being formed. My favorite part of the trip, I think the whales and the icebergs. It's a toss-up between those two.
It's still a tough one to call, but I'd have to say the wildlife. Right close second is the landscape and the glaciers and all that, but I think the wildlife for me.
Just being on this ship, I just find it fascinating. Everything about it.
Well, I love the wilderness and I love this boat, but the main
thing, the special thing, are Christine and Jeffrey. And they have this ability to make you feel like it's your boat. And it's going to be an inner struggle when it's time to get off of this boat because it's mine.
I love to see that part where the whales hump their back, and there's that kind of moment of tension about whether they're going to flip their tail up out in the water or not. And the icebergs are just absolutely gorgeous.
It's like we're a family on board this ship. There's only 9 of us, and Christine and Jeff make us feel so welcome. Jeff has said to come up by the wheel at any time.
Doing anything for a minute? Here, you want to drive?
Oh my, oh my.
It's just like your car. You turn this way to turn
Or would
left.
you tell me when to turn?
I'll tell you when to turn. And it takes a lot. So like if you went all the way to where this boat was over here, you would slowly see the bow start to turn. You're basically just trying to keep whatever's right in front of the boat. You're looking at the boat and the windlass and that stuff and the horizon out there, and you're just trying to keep the horizon from moving left or right.
He always will explain things to us, tell us so much about the boat.
There's an interesting story about that.
And Christine, with her wood burning stove, allows us to sit there and visit with her. And then all the people got to know each other. I was just telling Jack, I just love the camaraderie.
Well, I really like the hike we did yesterday, and the whole bear experience. Even though we didn't see a bear, we got to get the thrill of seeing all the evidence of the bears and going down the trail, making lots of noise, and felt like being a kid again.
And we're sort of taken care of. I feel like we've got Mom and Dad here taking care of us.
I have been fortunate enough to travel to a whole lot of places around the world, and this is on a scale of 1 to 10. I guess this is probably right up there with a 10. This is one of the most beautiful, awe-inspiring, incredible places I've been to.
One thing I like is the David B is so small that we have gone into little harbors and inlets and coves that the cruise ships could never make it in. In fact, they probably don't even know where these things are.
It's really changed my view of what a vacation should be.
All the wildlife viewing opportunities, and the fact that when we see something, Jeffrey will stop the boat and let us get a closer look, a better look, a longer look.
There's not as many places as this where the beauty absolutely surrounds you in a way that is just totally incomparable.
You just open up your mind and you take it all in, and it's just a constant wonder.
We need to keep it as pure as we can. I like to think that there'll be at least some of it here for my grandchildren to come to and appreciate it and see. And that's really important.